Hey guys, Chris and Josh here. On Saturday, August 13th, we decided to go to the Greenville Comic Con, and while we were there, we went to shoot a couple of comic shop road trip videos at the different comic shops around Greenville. Our first stop was at Needless Toys and Comics. This is located in Winterville. This was a very heavy toy shop, more so than comics. They did have some comics, but as you can see from the beginning of the video here, there were a lot of toys. Josh, you want to kind of talk about this a little bit?
Yeah, there was everything you could want. I mean, Hot Wheels, action figures, models, pop figures, video games. They had comics on the back wall. They had a back room with back issues in it. Any fandom you had, you could find in this shop. And it was well organized with each section based on whatever that toy group was. You see it here at the front of the shop is the Hot Wheels. They had Barbies. And I went around as I videoed and just sort of made my way around the shop. And there was no shortage of things. I mean, new toys, old toys, classics. It was just amazing. Model kits here that you can see. When we get to the pops, you guys are going to see, I've never seen so many pops in one place.
Guys, this was a smaller building, but the use of the space they had was pretty outstanding. And I'm telling you, you could not turn without seeing something new and different in there. It was pretty impressive. Everything was organized really well too. Like when you were looking at the Star Wars stuff, you knew you were looking at the Star Wars stuff. They had some of the newer type Star Wars, but they also had some of the older stuff too. If you keep looking, I mean, there's some stuff in there that I remember playing with when I was a kid. Just a whole lot of toys in one little area. I mean, if you're a true collector, I mean, you cannot go wrong going to this shop because I think they had a little bit of something for everybody. And, you know, being grown-up kids that we are, it was just, you know, they say like a kid in a candy store. We were like kids in a candy store because if we'd have had the right amount of money, we would have walked out of there with a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh, yeah, I could have walked out with a lot more. If there was something you were looking for and you couldn't find it, this was the place to go to find it. They had so much in their stock. It was really quite amazing. You know, one of the things that I enjoyed and I've been doing is I've been going back and getting a lot of back issue comics and trying to build my Superman collection. And I have picked up a couple of issues of All-Star Superman. And I never thought I'd be able to finish that collection, but actually while we were in here that day, Chris was going through the back issues and said, "Josh, you need to come here." And I walked back and they had every single issue. So I was able to complete my All-Star Superman set in there.
Right, and as you keep watching here, you see us moving on. There's just so much there, and I mean, this is just one wall. I mean, there's clothing there. I mean, you name it, they've got it. And Josh is going to turn around and start going down this other aisle. You see a Millennium Falcon up there. I mean, that was pretty hot right there. I believe those are Mortal Kombat figures and Spawn and just you name it, they had it. And we spent quite a lot of time in there just kind of wandering around, and obviously you could because there's so much there. There's a turtle section here, and a little bit later in the video you'll see Daniel actually talking about this turtle section. I see a bunch of old figures hanging up there that probably made its way through the Boyd household at some point in time. Some iteration of that figure because I'm sure Josh and Daniel were into it.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of missed it by just a little bit.
And this was my era. Beside the Turtles, we had the Masters of the Universe. And you guys know from previous videos, that's my favorite. That's what I grew up on. And I love the Masters of the Universe stuff. And I'm excited for another season of Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe cartoon, which continued the original. It's been great, and I've been picking up these figures as I see them. Keep an eye in your local Targets and Walmarts because they're discounting these figures and clearing them off the shelf. And I've picked up quite a few great figures for less than nothing for the cost of the figures.
Right, and here we got the Marvel section. We got a lot of new stuff and some old stuff. You can see the What If. That Firestar is pretty amazing right there. That's stuff I grew up on. You get the Spider-Man with the Iceman. Spider-Man and his amazing friends. So Firestar was part of that, and that was pretty awesome too. A lot of really good figures there, and then we come on over, there's even more. And I mean, this is just like not even half the shop, because what you're seeing, a lot of Marvel Legends. Keep looking for a good She-Hulk to go on my shelf. One of these days I'll find one. Hopefully, a lot of X-Men figures, and I love the way they package some figures with the comic books. That Spider-Woman was pretty awesome too.
Spider-Woman and MODOK. Even like the WWF, WWE stuff here was pretty cool. They had a little bit of all of it.
Yeah, I didn't see and didn't look real close if there were any labeled with the WWF. I'm sure there were. If it was an older figure, it had to have that on there. So probably more or less the ones like that you're going to find bagged up individually. They've already been taken out of boxes. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure if you could ever find one in a box that still had that logo on it, it might even give you a little bit of money there on that thing. Here's a lot of your loose action wrestling figures and things like that coming on along. Eventually we'll get to like some Power Rangers and stuff. Really cool statues up top as well.
Yeah. The Transformers are just amazing. They make so many of those now. And even like just seeing this stuff, a lot of these old figures that they're reproducing now, still using some of the same molds. When I played with the He-Man figures back in the day, the arms and legs moved and that's about it. But the new ones I have, they have like 18 points of articulation and they just are amazing. The work that goes into these figures is beautiful.
Right, and here's a few of your larger pop figures right up there on top of the shelf, and some more kind of statues, more of your collector stuff. Getting to like the pop figures now, quite a few of those. They're very well labeled. You can see the prices on them. Really nice, because sometimes it's hard to find a price on a pop figure, and you know, sometimes finding someone and saying, hey, how much is this pop figure, can be an aggravation, and you may not even want to buy one. I am currently in the process of getting rid of as many pop figures as I can. They take up a lot of space. They're great. They're great collectibles. You definitely could find whichever ones you wanted at this shop, because they definitely had them. And I believe Josh is going to turn around here and we're going to see the comic book wall.
Yes.
Really nice. This is the new comic books. The really cool thing about the way they did theirs, though, it was not just this week's comics. It was probably a month's worth in each stack. You can see it's quite full, but there were a lot of things in there to pick up. And I think I picked up a few that I needed that week.
Yeah, I was able to pick up a couple of back issues that I had missed and had not been able to get because they just were not shipping out. Here you see this back room where the boxes were just everywhere. And there was tons of books there. I wish we had had more time to just stay in and dig through those boxes, because I'm sure there were some keys and gems in those boxes that we could have found.
Yep, there you got some video games as well. Lots of video games, older video games, some newer stuff in there. See a lot of models and just different things. This is behind the shelf. There are a lot more things right there. You see that Action Comics cover down there with Superman with the green car. We all know that's the first appearance of Superman.
And here's the other side of the Pops wall, which is equally as filled.
Equally as filled. And Josh didn't hold the camera on it very long, but there is a She-Hulk pop figure up there, but she was paired with somebody else, or I would have left with it. There's a lot, and that's why we had to cover them all. But just a great shop. If you're looking for some kind of collectible, if you look in that case, you see a lot of older collectibles as well. If the money's right, and if you need that for your collection, go grab it. But definitely check out Needless Comics and Toys in Winterville.
Hey guys, this is Daniel here. I just wanted to talk about this because this was such a big part of my childhood growing up. The Ninja Turtles, I was just obsessed with them when I was a kid, and I always wanted to have as many of them as I could for several years here. I do see where they've re-released several classic ones. A big thing right now seems to be redoing the old Playmate style Ninja Turtles. Even Playmates themselves is getting in on the action here. But this is really cool here because these are like better detailed versions of the Playmate style, even with the weird painting of the eyebrows on the actual shield, like of Shredder, like it was when
Right.
the
Can you
figure.
hand that one down and let's look at it out here?
Yeah.
Get a little bit more light on it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, as you can see, they even put the eyebrows on the shield like the paint on the old old ones
Nice.
were. That's
Nice.
always
Very
hilarious. But yeah, this was just such a big part of my childhood, and I just couldn't help but just stare in awe at this for quite a few minutes. I mean, even now with the NECA, I could probably get into a lot of trouble just trying to film this stuff. What the hell was that? I don't know. It looked kind of like a turtle in a trench coat.
Yeah.
So that's
Hey guys, we are walking into our second shop of the day, Nostalgia Newsstand. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Daniel's with us as well. He's the one with the long hair. This place was really great and had lots of books. It was almost overwhelming.
Right. Really cool shop. A lot of comics. My daughter was there with us. She was filming some of this as well. She is actually in Greenville now, going to college, and this shop is 11-minute walk from her dorm. So this will probably be her shop of choice to get her comics. Seems to be that this guy had a little bit of everything. And one of the things I noticed while we were in there, Josh, he had a lot of older stuff. I think you actually picked up 8 Billion Genies 2 and 3 from there.
Yes, I did, and I'm still looking for issue 1. I haven't been able to find that yet, but I'm hoping I can find it soon. I also picked up Alice Ever After, which is a Boom Studios book, and I was able to get all 4 issues of that, and issue 5 comes out at the end of this month. So he had a lot of back issues that you were able to go through and find stuff.
Right, and I picked up, and this was a really cool pickup. It was a 5th printing, but it was well worth it. I think I looked it up on Amazon. It's like worth $25 now. Issue 1 of The Last Ronin, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This shop had a lot of cool things. This was one of my favorites, of course. Batman and Robin climbing up the wall from the old 66 Batman. We always loved that show. And also right up there, excuse the stain on the ceiling, but he had a Spider-Man hanging. One side was the black suit and one side was the red suit. When we first walked up to this shop, I didn't know what we were going to be walking into because it kind of was a rundown building, but let me tell you, the comics in there are just outstanding. He had everything you could ever want in there as far as new stuff was concerned. There were 1 or 2 comics that were a little bit that I needed that he didn't actually have, but that was probably just because they were more independent and he does have a lot of indie comics. Obviously, there is a whole rack dedicated to nothing but Image. This was obviously the Marvel rack. This is I like to call it the newer, older stuff. It was within the past 2 or 3 months, I think. And right now, you see all the DC stuff as we scroll across that. Josh, what did you think of this shop overall?
It was a great shop. It was a great place to go if you were missing some things or you needed or you wanted that variant cover for an issue. He had all the different variant covers for issues you could find. Even some of the 1 in 25s and 1 in 50s he had in the shop.
Right.
So that was a really nice thing there.
Yeah, definitely a bunch of variants. If you're into keeping those variants, you can see right here some of the indies.
Yeah.
I see Twig poking out over there. Hit quite a few of the Twig indies. Excuse me, variants in there.
Yeah.
A couple I almost picked up because I think there was a Virgin variant in there that I kind of didn't get and probably should have. Next time I make a trip up to see my daughter at college, I might have to slip in there and see if he still has it.
Yeah, there's lots of independents. He had just about anything you could want. Like I said, the more popular stuff, like that 8 Billion Genies, I got the last 2 issues of 2 and 3. So that's been a popular one and not easy to keep in. But if it's something that wasn't really big, you could go in and catch up without a problem here.
Right, and right now we're looking at like the IDW and the Dark Horse and things like that. As you can see, they have a lot. And this is the outside wall, and what they told us about it, this is the local college students come over and paint this wall. So you see a lot of different art students there. Hoping one day that maybe I'll walk out there and see something that my daughter has painted up there. Really cool looking wall. We got the Joker, and he's holding the Joker card, and just a lot of different art styles and stuff too. We kind of slow pan down this thing so you can see it. I think I even saw Rick and Morty up there somewhere. Yeah, we'll get to him eventually, but there's a really great...
looks like a Jameson.
It's a Jameson. I just want to say Parker. But
He just needs a stogie.
Yeah, he does need the stogie. But this was down the whole length of the wall on the side of this building.
I see Death down there.
Yeah, Death is up there. It's really, really good. You see a lot of talented artists do their work out there. So yeah, good practice space. There you go. There's Rick and Morty.
Looks like Bart Simpson up there with him.
No, that's not Bart.
Yeah.
That's Mr. Me. I can't think of his name right now. Sorry, but the right here on the end, you're gonna see a Venom. That's pretty amazing. Really nice Venom there. Yeah, guys, Nostalgia Newsstand is downtown Greenville on 9th Street, so check that out. All right, guys, our third and final stop was Blue Ox Games in Greenville. You can see us going in here. This is not just a comic book shop. This is also a board game and all different kind of game shop. We didn't get all the footage of the actual game shop itself, but let me tell you, if you are a gamer, it is definitely the place to go. Daniel's filming with his phone right now because we lost the battery on one, but you can see they have the Yu-Gi-Oh on there, and there were a lot of cool posters up there. I'd love to have that She-Hulk poster if it wasn't faded out. I need it in the full green. Probably need to look and see if I can find one somewhere online. But as you can see us walking in here, getting ready to go in and look at the comics. As you walk in, you kind of see the games first, and there's a separate room for comics. They got the Hero Clicks. You can see those. They are well stocked on those as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, all of your comic-based board games and card games are in this side room. You can get bags and boards there. They have those by the pack. Your figures, your statues are all in there. And they have a really well-organized section with the comics in it, divided up by publisher.
Right, and I like the fact that they have like bins for your comics as well as like the magazine style bags, because a lot of the newer stuff that's coming out, we are getting some magazine style. Jock's One Dark Knight, the Batman story, that's a magazine style. So you need that bigger bag to keep those in there. And also Wonder Woman Historia is that magazine style, and it's really nice as well. You've got your collectible statues there. That Batman Who Laughs is pretty cool looking right there. That might be a really cool statue to have. And as we kind of scan on down, you see we're getting to the DC stuff here. And you're seeing a lot of the new DC stuff on this shelf. Robin, I believe, down there is coming to an end after issue 17. Yes. The Joker has already ended. And I read that one. It's a really good story. Robin has been really good so far as well, and I think we're transitioning straight into Robin versus Batman.
Yes. And while we were there that day, I actually picked up the deceased black bag version. Keep an eye out on TikTok because we're going to do a video soon with me opening that bag up and seeing what the cover looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. We still want to see that cover. We can't find it anywhere online, so we have no idea what it looks like. We'll shoot a TikTok here real soon and let you see. I actually was going through, Josh was going through some of the back stock they have in there, like the back issues and thing, and happened to pull out a copy of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin #2. So I was able to pick that up. That Batgirl collectible looks pretty nice. I might have to go back and get that. And I think we know a certain lady named Karen Whitfield who might sign that for us. The Bronze Age Batgirl. I might have to get that and get her to sign it for me.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, yeah, the great person, and she's going to be in Fayetteville at the con coming up in October. If you get a chance to go speak with her, she's a really great person and really great to talk to. She has some great stories to tell.
Yeah, and if you're a fan of Adam West and Burt Ward, definitely go check that out because she actually toured around the country with them, and we're like kids in kindergarten getting taught stories by our kindergarten teacher.
Chris, this is my favorite section of the shop.
Yeah, this is the dollar comic section right here. Oh, actually, no,
this
it's
is
not.
the sets. If you went into this little section and you started pulling out, all those books on top were sets. So if you were looking for Justice League No Justice or any of those, you could buy the full set there.
Yeah, and one of the cool things they had that I thought was pretty cool, they have a shelf dedicated to #1 issues. So if it came out that week and it was a #1 issue, they had it right on display where you could go ahead and grab it. I was able to pick up 2 of the other books that I could not get at the other shop. And if you look right down there, you'll see, I think they actually had issue 2, 3, and 4 of 8 Billion Genies right down there. Probably should have grabbed that one, but didn't. I figure I'll just read Josh's copies. Hopefully he'll get that first one. If you look right up there, you see a Devil's Reign Peach Momoko cover over there. This is the Marvel kind of new releases section right here. Some really great comics there as well. And eventually we'll get scanned around, and he has probably 12 to 14 boxes full of $1 comics that you can dig through and find whatever, and it's only $1. Last time I was in there, I was digging through. I was there last Wednesday. Found a few blank cover comics, which my daughter Tegan is going to be coloring, and actually drawing on to sell at the con in a couple of weeks. But Blue Ox Games did have a lot of comics in there, surprisingly, to be it's more geared towards a game shop, but you can definitely, if you can't find the comic you want at one shop, you've got another option in Greenville to go over there. And again, like Josh said, they do have a lot of backs and boards available as well, because you can never have too many of those. I know the other day I was going through my comics going, man, I really need to get some backs and boards, because it wouldn't take much for me to fill up 100 of those real quick. If you look right down there, you see these shelves. You actually pull those drawers out, and they are full of back issues. And they are all individually organized by alphabetical order and by publishing company. One side is Marvel, one side is DC. And in the middle, they have all of their indie comics as well. This is just a rack full of probably new release indie comics. Josh was looking at those. I think he found like a Garbage Pail Kids one in there, which is pretty
I almost
interesting.
picked it up, and I should have.
You see Florida Man up there.
Yeah.
We talked about that, and there's the Garbage Pail Kids one right there. Who'd have thought Garbage Pail Kids would come back? That's a crazy... Excuse me.
Yeah, not just the Garbage Pail Kids, Chris, but it was Mad Balls versus Garbage Pail Kids.
Yeah, exactly. Madball. Like our childhood is coming back in comic book form. And so yeah, Blue Ox Games was really nice. We really enjoyed it in there as well. A little bit off the beaten path. Make sure you use your Waze or your Google Maps to find it. It's not too far, but definitely if you're a gamer or even a comic book reader, it's definitely a place you should check out while you're in Greenville. Again, that was we visited Blue Ox Games, Nostalgia Newsstand, and Needless Toys and Games while we were there. So if you like what you saw, hit that like and subscribe button, and go ahead and get subscribed to our channel, and also ring that bell notification so you don't miss out on our next video. She-Hulk is coming out, and we're going to be having some review of that pretty soon. And also, you don't want to miss our hot reads, so when you go in the shop, you'll know what books to pick up every week. And follow us on social media as well. We are on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Snapchat. Just look for the Brothers Boyd. We'll have the logos down here so you can see them. And make sure you're visiting your local comic shops as well and spending that money, because we need to keep these businesses alive so we can keep getting these great comics. And until the next video, we will see you at the shop.